Thank you for joining us. Episode 18. We get into it this week again. We start talking about John McAfee.
Oh, we're getting into John McAfee.
We've been inside of John.
John's even gets mentioned.
We talk about the Space Force and becoming the first Master Chief.
That also branches off into a little bit of the space pirates, believe it or not. That's pretty fun.
We jump into some more streaming, this time more about games and video services. Gets pretty interesting there. Then we talked a little bit about...
Friday the 13th lawsuit about not being able to make Friday the 13th.
Oh, yes,
my God.
Chipped in because I wasn't sure if we were talking about Jason or Leatherface or what.
And we also
the battle
had our finals.
The finals.
The King... Hero Champion God battle
between Batman and Rick Sanchez.
Stick around to find out who wins, and also remember to throw us a like, subscribe, hit the little notification bell.
Check the bell, get in the bell squad. That's all starting right now on the Illegal Podcast.
We've reached the final conclusion on the podcast. Illegal!
So I was about like knee deep in Mountain Dew, and she handed me a moist towelette. I was like, "What is this gonna do?"
What about the pineapple you've been talking about, though? Did she shove that up there yet?
No. That's to be determined.
Okay.
To be determined.
Well, welcome back.
So for our first story here, we've got Ray over here talking about a little bit of
Space Force.
All right, what you got with the
coast to
I
coast.
even wore my Darth Vader shirt today on purpose.
On purpose.
Well, Space Force. That's basically it, guys. Space Force. There's not a whole lot to be said. Actually, there's a whole lot to be said about this.
Next story.
A new armed branch of the military. All sorts of implications here. President Trump has declared it's definitely going to happen, and
He who shall not be named, you mean?
he who shall not be named. It's dude. It's real now. This is real. We're talking about Space Force.
Did we find out how much Voldemort's gonna actually like put towards it?
Yes.
What was the amount? Do you know?
Well, I mean, this is according to Morgan Stanley. It says he has proposed a Space Force, and it could help fuel the $1 trillion intergalactic economy.
Okay, so $1 trillion is a number he attached to it.
I mean, that's to
How
fuel
much
the
does
1
it cost to
trillion.
get Flint clean water?
Hold on. You
I don't
guys
know.
are still focused on the number. There was another word there that was a lot more
Intergalactic
exciting.
economy.
Yes, intergalactic. Not even economy. Intergalactic. All right, we live in the Milky Way. That's a galaxy. Which means that to be intergalactic, we'd have to leave the Milky Way, and we supposedly can't even get back to the moon.
Yeah, but if this was terms that he said out of his mouth, Voldemort, he doesn't even know. He thinks there's like a light switch that turns off the internet. And he's for that. He doesn't even know what intergalactic means.
In this thing they got it's like the so-called Space Force.
I don't know. I think there's
God.
definitely a lot of implications.
I mean, yeah,
Of the Space
space
Force.
battles will be definitely a thing in the future because, like, Elon Musk wants to launch those satellites. Everybody's going to be wanting to do like that. And I think you even mentioned that the Russians have like some crazy.
They got a laser here that can take
Shoot
out
satellites.
debris in space.
oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Debris.
Yeah.
Well,
Debris.
that's kinda cool.
It can't shoot not debris. It's just debris that it can
Yeah.
shoot.
That's all.
I'm for the Space Force. I think that
I think eventually.
to be the first military presence in space is a wise decision from a
Yeah.
military leader for sure. I think that there's more pressing matters before we
For sure,
really
like-
get too far into that. Flint's clean water.
right.
Or, I don't know, keeping children
Anything.
with their
Some
families.
ODST.
I mean, I don't
want to
care,
see some like. I want to hear some like. I mean, it's cool to be like, oh, we're gonna have Marines in space, but like, I want to know what that means. Like, I want to know what they're gonna be doing. Like, are we talking about like?
Intergalactic economy.
That's enough. That's enough right there. That's all
need
you need.
more. I need more.
I think what happened is we found some poppy farms in
Must have.
in intergalactic Afghanistan,
Oil field on
and
the
so
moon.
we're gonna go to intergalactic
The,
Afghanistan to put our space
dopamine, or whatever
marines
it's
there
called.
to make
No,
sure
it's
that the
not.
farmers are safe.
Scopolamine.
Scopolamine. There you go.
I think
encourage
before
Google that term,
intergalactic
people.
poppy economy.
Scopolamine.
Poppy seeds.
Just think.
There's probably some oil out there. They found we said that in a previous cast.
Yeah,
what would we need to get out
Space
there?
oil.
Space oil.
No,
Yeah,
if we're going out there, we don't use oil to get there. There's not enough oil on the Earth to get you to another.
Unless you find space oil.
Yeah.
If you find space oil, all you need is enough oil to get to the
You
next
just need a space
oil
engine.
deposit. Yeah. You get a space engine, you got space oil, and boom.
But I think the important part before the Space Force is that we get a fox, a frog, a bunny, and a bird, and we start training them so we can make Star Fox.
Yeah.
That's the first Space Force.
Do a barrel roll.
Zoom in on my face and realize how disappointed I am in you right now.
No, we need that to happen.
we need the Guardians of the Galaxy to happen right now.
Star Fox would destroy them.
Morgan Stanley here sees
Morgan Stanley.
Figment.
You know, both Morg and Stanley, both are looking. It says they're tracking 100 other private companies across sectors that are all like talking about like an intergalactic economy. So like it says here they've like pretty much more than doubled down on this intergalactic economy here, and 20 stocks staking their place in the next space race.
Well, the only thing I'm worried about is not even a space race, is a intergalactic arms race. Because once you have any sort of transport of goods, you immediately have someone trying to take those goods before they get to their destination. You know, some sort of pirates. So now we're gonna have fucking space pirates.
Space pirates.
And you know,
I think that's cool.
What happens? Let's just say they have a. We'll call it a mothership, because that's a term we all know and can understand and put a visual to. A mothership, and it is attacked and then brought down by... It doesn't matter whose mothership it is and who brings it down, but now there's a mothership that's a mile big cruising towards the Earth because it got, you know, fucked up. Like,
well, I guess if it was in space, it probably wouldn't be floating towards Earth. It would just be...
Well, it depends on where... It depends on where it was at. Like, we're going to definitely have these things around the Earth. Like,
Probably
there's a
not in
space
our
force.
atmosphere, though.
In our atmosphere, but within our
Closer,
gravitational pull.
Yeah.
Like, unless it stays in an orbital speed, it doesn't matter. It's going to get sucked towards the planet. So if it's just chilling, gets attacked, and then it could definitely happen. But
who would be the attackers, though? Like,
who cares who's the attackers?
Say it's
the
a
other
wolf.
people.
Well, no, say
A wolf.
Wolf from Star Fox,
God
and
damn it,
Fox
Ryan.
will take him out. Like he does.
I just see something like
Good will always win.
like
Star
we've
Fox is
seen the
involved.
devastation of the atom bomb. I can't even imagine the devastation of
A mothership crashing into Earth.
or someone
Have you even
actually
seen
using a
Independence
space
Day?
weapon from Earth, like an ion cannon. You guys played Command and Conquer back in the day, right? Like, imagine 100 ion cannons floating around the Earth at any given time, and just they have the ability to just pop in fucking Google Earth coordinate, hit a button.
Yeah.
Like, there's no hiding, there's no getting away.
I mean,
It's not.
It's almost that already with our drones. I mean, how many drones do we just
Pretty much.
kill every brown person we want to? They're like, that person, fuck them.
Yeah, it's not good.
Fucking racist.
It's not good.
Hey, it's exactly what the
Anybody
United
we
States
want
is
to.
good at, killing brown people,
any-
unfortunately.
Yeah.
I don't like saying that at all.
Any colored skin. Purple.
Yes.
U.S.
Blue.
U.S. doesn't discriminate against who we want to kill.
No.
As long-
We just have favorites.
I think I
but I mean, so
It's a comedy
what
channel,
I don't
guys.
like about all the stuff I'm reading about the Space Force is it's like just straight military. Like we're gonna kill people from space in any way we can. When I'm just like, oh, I thought I like Space Force, the intergalactic economy. I'm just picturing like a
Star
strip
Trek.
mall, like Cowboy Bebop style, fucking like spaceships like coming into port and
Have you guys seen Firefly?
no.
No.
Why?
because we like good TV.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
offended a fuck ton of people.
Yeah, you did for sure. Like
I mean,
not as
everybody
much
that
as
exists.
Rob with his
Anybody
hate for
who's
Star
paying
Wars.
attention to this conversation, like legitimately paying attention, hates you now.
Oh man, we're gonna piss off two people.
Oh man, we're gonna piss off two people.
Yeah.
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 Sorry, Rob's mom.
And Rob's
no one-
sister.
Rob's family and his extended family.
Two
Sorry.
views.
Oh my god.
Boy.
I'm just mad about like the amount of money that they're wanting to throw towards it. We already have so much dedicated to our military. We don't need to put fucking more money into the military-industrial complex.
Well,
have
theoretically,
a
once
different
we
reason
have
besides
a
murder.
decent space
Right,
force that
right.
can, you know, shoot people from space, like, what's the point of having a ground army?
Military at all.
Yeah, I mean,
It'll still
that
use
would
us,
be
though.
perfectly
Guy.
fine, and then we'd save all the money on the other military that we're not using anymore.
We'd still waste tons of money on the military like we do now.
Well, I don't think we're at a point right now where weapons are getting so powerful that we really like the world needs to reconsider why military gets used and what it means and everything about it, because the loss of human life as it currently stands on our planet daily because of military action is already
Super.
obscene.
Yeah, I think I seen a report that like every 12 minutes the U.S. drops a bomb.
During Barack Obama's administration, there was a drone strike every 4 minutes.
Yeah.
That's fucking fact. Look it up.
Oh, I know. And then the people that are like, "Oh, he's the best president ever." No.
But the worst part of that is not the fact that there was a drone strike every 4 minutes. It's that 80+% of the time it missed its target. Every 4 minutes. So that means, you know, in a day, how many hundreds of innocent people
I mean, I
get
also
killed while they're just like trying to barbecue in their flip-flops out back. You
for
know?
sure, yeah.
Not enough, apparently.
Not enough.
I did see a report though that was talking about drones and like how much more accurate they are than like just when we used to like, you know, launch from
Just going
Navy
by
ships.
ships throwing bombs.
yeah,
from
now
a distance.
at least they can go over, they can kind of see a
picture
general
a dude in a
area.
plane.
It's still bad, don't get me wrong, but I think it's a little bit more accurate than it used to be in the past.
Special.
I just
Circle
think
back
that,
around, we missed by like a mile.
You can tell even in this article though
Be
the
another
whole
10 minutes. He's
reason
not even
for
there anymore.
for war anymore is has to do with economy. The way they cover is intergalactic economy. That's really what it's about. That is what it's about at the long run, because Northrop Grumman and Boeing and all these fucking companies that make this are gonna be rich off of it. Their economy is gonna be fantastic. You know, it's really just the
They're
people
going
who
to
are
have the
to pay.
intergalactic economy.
Yeah, they are gonna have.
And
the
we're all going to be stuck
economy.
here in the regular piece of shit economy.
Yeah.
Fucking
They're gonna be-
Rockefellers
They're
of
going to be out
space.
there like John McAfee, like, oh, what's that? Trying to uninstall the old economy? Yeah, I don't know. Don't know about it. You just like
I'd just
dripping
shoot it.
women.
Yeah.
Just shoot it.
And space cocaine.
Yep. Talking about them.
Space
Ah.
cocaine. That's wonderful.
So, I mean, yeah, I'd like to see it more towards like, hey, we're trying to branch out and become better as a
Society of humans.
civilization. Yeah. Instead of just like, well, we're gonna get up there and then we're gonna get you from space.
Don't you worry.
$1
can't
trillion.
hide no more.
Here
Well,
we come.
let's go around the table and talk about, would you sign up for the Space Force?
no.
Nope.
Nope.
As long as I get to wear that fucking Spartan armor.
I was gonna say if they
him
offer.
Chief Master, you might as well just call me Master Chief at that point. And at some point, I get to fly through space, shooting at like a ship I'm floating towards, break the glass out, land in the ship. Yeah,
Turn on your gravity
I'm in.
boots. Everybody else gets sucked out.
And while I'm there,
Uh-huh.
grab a guy's plasma sword while he's flying out, and yeah, I'm in. Sign me up.
I'm good. I'm down for like the.
Depends who's pulling the missions at that point, I guess. I guess is the biggest thing for me.
Just give me virtual reality. I don't need to go. I don't need it for real. Just give me the virtual reality version of that, and I'll be fine.
Then a burger slide right into my mouth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Laser condoms.
Reusable laser condoms.
That's the whole point. I mean, come on.
So he mentioned John McAfee, and I think that was kind of a nod towards me because that's essentially what I'm going to be talking about a little bit. Came across this article that is essentially titled "A Real Whodunit." Tech eccentric John McAfee claims enemies poisoned him. Pretty much, he spent a 3-day absence from Twitter, so everybody was freaking out, which is hilarious, by the way, but that's a different story. He spent it in this medical center in North Carolina. Pretty much somebody spiked something, at least that's what he says. I go on to read the article, and the medical center, although he has photos of him in the medical center, they have no record of John McAfee being there, which is totally a John McAfee thing anyways.
Right.
For sure.
Fake name for sure. At least I assume, because that's the
I'm
type of guy that I see.
assuming at the hospital they just use McAfee antivirus, and it just there's some code he programmed 20 years ago in there that just
Anytime he's
erases his shit
yeah,
from
no.
anything.
I think John McAfee just keeps himself that protected all the time that he just
I
doesn't.
do too.
Yeah, he's not
This
letting.
guy's super paranoid.
Yeah, if he's going to the hospital, he's not letting you know he's going to go to the hospital until after he's already long gone.
Yeah, left the hospital. Now I can tell everybody, kind of thing.
So his official Twitter response to this was, "I apologize for my 3-day absence, but I was unconscious for 2 days at the Vindit Medical Center in North Carolina and just woke up. My enemies," it says I'm guessing managed to spike something I ingested. However, I am more difficult to kill than anyone can possibly imagine, and I am back."
And I am back, he says. Fucking Terminator.
So has anyone
Old
seen
Terminator.
the documentary on Netflix with John McAfee?
No.
No.
This dude is like a new age like pirate. I'm pretty sure he was like a legit enemy of the state for quite some time.
Yeah.
He lived in like, he had to like live in like Africa. I forget where he was. The documentary explains, but he's like literally hanging around people that are just like armed to the teeth all the time. Like in his house,
technically
just
run for
surrounded by
president?
people.
Yes.
2016?
I think he did.
That's crazy.
I think he is that?
This guy's.
I'm pretty sure he did, and I think that he's supposedly supposed to run again in 2020. In no way am I advocating for this to actually happen, but
I would vote for him.
I would vote for him over like
I would vote for him over
Voldemort
probably
for sure.
anybody that has talked about running.
He is terrifying to me.
Well, and then he's straight.
I mean, no more
there's
terrifying than
pictures of
impeaching the
him
current
that are just,
president
like,
and having Mike
unconscious.
Pence as our president. I think that's more even terrifying than.
Very
anyways.
true. Super fucked up looking in the hospital. Pictures he posted again on Twitter, and it says, "For those who did this, you will soon understand the true meaning of
Right.
wrath." Misspelled, I'm pretty sure.
No.
I know exactly who you are, and you had better be gone.
I mean, the U had better be gone. UH? I don't think that's a word. That's
You
definitely a misspell.
You were. It better
You
be
were.
gone.
I mean, this could very well just be like an overdose. He's trying to like play off like someone's
for
trying to kill
sure.
me.
Yeah.
But people definitely don't want this guy around.
Well, he's
sure.
also
For sure, there's
huge
definitely
into
people.
The crypto scene right now,
Yeah.
and a huge proponent of that.
Yeah, it's like his #1 advocacy for his presidency would be cryptocurrency and abolishing the war on drugs.
Well, it's the only way that people can have true freedom again without the ability of a government to be able to, right now when you work a job, they know how much money you make, so they can tax you at that rate. Where if it's all, hidden cryptographically, then there's no way that anybody could tell about anything, and the only way government runs is on money. And if you can't collect the money to make it run,
But they'd still have a history from like your employer paying you in crypto,
no,
possibly.
because they don't.
Well-
There's no. You wouldn't have to give that information up necessarily.
We don't know who poisoned John McAfee. If that
Or if
was
he even got poisoned.
in fact the reason he was hospitalized, but we do know he has already has some enemies. The notorious U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, in May, the Independent reported that McAfee feared for his life, and he felt that he was being pursued and targeted by the SEC for his involvement in the cryptocurrency space. At that time, McAfee said he went into hiding out of fear that the government would kidnap or perhaps assassinate him. How his enemies in the SEC might have gotten to him while he was in hiding is still unclear.
I think he's just trying to make himself off to be like more of a secretive person than he really is. He's just normally just at home taking too much bath salts, and then he just went to the hospital for their like, oh, it's the conspiracy against me because I'm trying to take down the establishment. He's just really watching
funny
like
if that was
he's just watching
actually
reruns
true.
of Scrubs.
Like
at
he's
home.
just so high and paranoid all the time, like no one gives a shit about him. And then he's just been like
But he's just got all the money, so he
yeah,
can
he's
just-
been paranoid for 15 years. And he just can't stop doing cocaine. He's just like, they're after me. Like all the prostitutes are just like, yeah, he does this. just do some more cocaine and chill out.
I don't know, man.
Maybe it's time for a downer. This time.
I think that's a fun way to look at it, but I seriously doubt that that's. How it
And I
is.
know he's made
Could
a
be
lot of
either way,
enemies. He stepped on a lot of toes. He's made a lot of his money in some not so smiled at ways. stepped on a lot of toes, broke a few hearts, maybe murdered a couple people himself to get where he is.
Almost
now.
definitely.
For sure.
Yeah, for everything that I've seen about him screams
Especially
that he's
if
killed
you watch, like not his own personal hands, but like you can tell he knows like a lot of people.
Well, I bet he's
who,
choked somebody before.
For like no more than $50, they'll kill someone.
I'm talking like
And
stared
he
somebody
hangs
in
out
the
with them.
eyes and just watched the life fade out of him.
Sucked out their last breath out of their mouth.
Everything. I'm just gonna insert a big picture of a big dick as you just did that.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful.
As long as
it would have been cooler to see
sucking
the
the last
Dementor
breath out of
effects,
it.
though.
Yeah. I was thinking he was going to say that, and then he was like, a big dick. I'm like, what the heck?
That's even better. I'm down with either.
But I think the funny thing is everything you know about McAfee at this point. Would you watch like a reality TV show that just followed his life
Yes.
day in and day out? I think we should do that.
I think that he should just do it himself. I think that he should just
like,
hop on IGTV.
like
and
if he wants
fucking
to make
throw
money, that'd
something
be smart.
live. And
Just a live cam of like his living room would just make a lot of money.
for sure.
He's sitting around reading books.
I think he's got to become president first and abolish the war on drugs before he doesn't incriminate himself. But
Apparently there's
Yeah.
rumors that it was his wife who poisoned him, but he said it definitely was not. So who knows? But I don't know, man. I feel like there's probably some validity to that, because do you guys remember last year? It had to be last year. I don't, possibly earlier this year, but I'm pretty sure it was last year, where I forget exactly who was involved, but you'll probably remember the story, or if not the video, where there was some like big wig of some country, like a leader of a country, and someone, I think it was Putin, someone wanted him dead, and like everyone knew about it. And he was on his way to like his plane in this airport, and this lady just like walks up to him and just like rubs this stuff in his face and just keeps walking by, and the guy like drops all his bags and like runs to the front desk, and he's like, this lady just put stuff on my face, they're trying to kill me, there's this whole thing, and like there's a poison and I only have so much, you gotta get me to a hospital and I gotta go before it kills me. Fucking dead. And there's like video of it and everything. So just like,
yeah,
this kind of shit
intense.
happens, and it happens in broad daylight, and then it's on the news, and then everyone knows who did it, and nothing happens.
And I bet you the chick that rubbed that on his face was on that thing I told you guys to Google earlier.
I bet it was.
Scopolamine.
I bet it was. I thought
I
the
bet
same
she's
thing.
a millionaire
Toys.
now, or a billionaire.
No, I bet you she's dead.
Oh,
yeah,
you're right.
absolutely, for
You're
sure.
right.
Because I bet it's like one of those scenarios where you just catch like a random person in like a rough spot, and you're just like, hey,
You know what?
£1,000 right now to go rub this piece of paper in
Not
that
even.
guy's
They're
face.
probably at the airport finding somebody who's traveling alone, being like, "Hey, walk under that flower for a second.
It's
Now go
No, I
rub
don't
this
think
in that
so.
dude's
I think-
face."
in that scenario,
I think-
yes, but like while you're at the airport, like you could probably just go be like, hey, I got this like funny joke between me and this guy, and we kind of rub paper in each other's face, and like he got me last time, and I'm trying to get him. Will you go rub this piece of paper in that guy's face? Like,
I'll give you $10 real
yeah,
quick.
like
it'll
it'll
be
be
fun.
funny. It'll be funny. He'll love it.
I think it's darker than that. It's probably like they take somebody and then they're like, I'm gonna kill your son if you don't do this.
It's probably true.
Yes,
I think
yeah.
it's a combination of those things, but I think the person who actually puts the paper in the face is a paid operative that doesn't get killed. The one who takes the fall is someone who looks very much like that person. So because that's an asset, they spent money training this person to get them in and out of situations like that. So you don't off that person. You off this person who you get involved, like you said, at the airport that day or a couple of weeks beforehand, who happens to look a lot like this person, and then this person takes the fall.
I think you're thinking too much into it.
No,
No,
just-
I
look at
think
the
that if I
Kennedy
ever need
assassination.
to
That
do
shit
something
happens.
like that, I know who I'm going to call.
Yeah, it's all really
You guys.
super
Apparently, we've got this down.
super easy to get away with. Just gotta think about it just a
And
little
earn
bit.
it.
And people have killed
No.
presidents, and people have brought down massive buildings with planes in this country.
For sure.
And I mean, conspiracies.
Well, is this even a verified? Like you said, you think you remember somebody
this
rubbing
is-
something in his
yeah,
face.
This happened.
This,
I don't
this all
remember much of the
happened.
details, but I
It
remember
was on the
this was fact.
news. You can pull up the video.
Okay. I'm just curious. I didn't remember
Yeah, it
hearing of
wasn't.
it.
Yeah. Well, at least the original story, like this chick wiped something in this guy's face. He went up there and complained
gotcha.
about it and then died. The rest of that we made up.
For sure.
Like scopolamine might
Stretch
have been
Armstrong.
involved, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, it could have just been some chick that was just like, fuck you. Because he pinched her ass. Like,
And he just died
Now
from
you're
a
dead.
different reason.
Pinch my ass, and I just
Vaccine.
happen to have a super
Vaccine's
powerful
allowed.
poison in my handbag.
No, the guy we're talking about.
wow, I thought that was like somebody rubbed something in McAfee's face. I'm way
no,
off.
no.
I'm
You're
way off base. Never mind.
Welcome
Okay.
back.
No, that wasn't. That wasn't. Oh yes, it was Kim Jong Nam, and it was Kim Jong Il who wanted him dead, and they were related somehow. And there was like a
Yeah.
there was like a power
He was like
struggle.
next in line or
That's
something, so
right.
he just offed him before
That's right.
it came to that. Yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah, he was nervous about him, and there was some talk, and I mean, I'm not gonna show the video here, but it's a minute long, and yeah, there's several different angles and everything of his trip
okay.
to the airport, and the lady just being like wop 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 and walking
Oh,
away, and him just like freaking out, and he died within 20 minutes. So some nerve agent says
Yeah.
here attacked him.
I totally believe that. I was off base. I totally thought we were still talking about McAfee and that something
That's
happened
why I
to
was
him.
just like, I'm saying that kind of shit is believable to me because of shit like this,
Oh,
where
yeah.
it's just like a super high up there person was poisoned knowingly by someone it's obvious who obviously poisoned him.
Or at least
Poisoned
commissioned
him.
it, yeah.
The video's all over the news, and we all just kind of go, yep, and move on.
But what is also kind of funny is I wonder on which scenario it is that John McAfee wasn't at the hospital. Was John McAfee not at the hospital because his record was erased that he was ever at that hospital? Because that happens too. Look at Bob Lazar. He never went to school or worked at, like got erased from everything. And then, or was it that he just didn't give him his real name in the first place? So he
I'd
was
say probably just a
never
fake
there.
name.
I just want to say McAfee just did it to himself, and then he's just making it seem like more, because who really gives a fuck about John McAfee? I don't. If he died tomorrow,
everybody in the crypto space.
I'd be okay.
For sure.
But yeah, I mean, you got a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's
that's all
just
it
gonna
is.
like so many people are being arrested and going to prison right now for crypto right now. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's nuts.
Nuts. Nuts
People
into
are
the
going
battle.
down.
I do believe.
Oh.
The red battle time.
It's battle time.
Ryan's just gonna have the camera on me that whole time.
I bet you. Oh man.
It's here. It's
So
upon
it's
us.
final. This is the final.
This is the finals.
It's
a
the
lot of upsets.
battle.
A lot of coin
battle.
flips. Two people that I thought were not going to make it to the end of this, hands down. If you probably would have been like, who's going out first round?
These guys.
These guys were probably going
sure.
to be my guess without seeing any. So we have the Batman
The Incredible Batman.
versus the
Amazing.
amazing Rick Sanchez.
Rick Sanchez. Batman v. Rick.
Oh my god. So
1942.
Dawn of something.
During the height of World War
I
II.
was trying to think of something Rick and Morty related, and I'm like, I've not got nothing.
that is a movie I
Dawn
would
of
see.
Meeseeks. Like, Meeseeks.
The incredible Batman versus the amazing Rick Sanchez. The Dawn of something.
That's just what it's called.
That's the name of the battle right now.
So whatever's on the Dawn, it's something. This is going to be a tough one because these dudes have so many gadgets.
Yes.
They're
Both
just
brilliant.
It's more of a battle of the gadgets than the people.
the gadgets and the geniuses. Really is what this is going to be. And they're pretty up there as far as both being. I think Rick takes the cake because he's got his like. As far as intelligence goes, because he's on an intergalactic
He can
level.
like stop time.
Yeah, like he's Batman's great with the stuff on Earth, but like Rick's got the cosmos on his side.
Batman
so
has on multiple times become a god, pretty much. I mean, there is.
I
Yeah,
have
but he
not
doesn't
seen these
have
things.
he doesn't have a microverse powering his Batmobile.
It's true.
That's true.
No, but Batman also has his DC friends that brought him to the cosmos, like Martian Manhunter. He's been on Mars.
John's?
Yep.
John.
Yep.
Face of shame.
Yeah.
All right, so big epic battle.
Immediately.
Hello,
I think that Sanchez would probably open up with maybe a portal gun beneath his feet. Batman would probably use his grappling hook to
That's, yeah.
swing away. Keep in mind, hyperbolic time chamber Ryan, you take the next move.
Oh. He realizes that there's nothing to grapple onto, and then
He falls through the portal, and Rick wins.
it's cut in half. No,
Oh my god.
even if he does fall through the portal, like wherever he goes, I'm pretty sure Batman would find a way back into the time chamber. So I would say he falls through the portal after he failed at the grappling attempt, and then he does some bat gadget fuckery and comes back into the time chamber.
Okay.
Bat gadget fuckery.
Very exciting there. Very exciting
If
there.
anyone's wondering the details of the bat gadget fuckery, it's this. He's seen it coming. He proposed a pretty much like a base portal.
Gathered the Dragon Balls a month in advance.
Yeah. He had the base portal. He dropped it before he fell out, and then he's got his on his his bat belt.
His utility belt.
Yeah, I was waiting for something there.
His
His bat belt.
belt.
And so you just got to hit that button, and he always goes back to the base portal. So that's how he got out of that. Now he's back. They're back to square one. Richard Sanchez, he Richard.
Dick Sanchez.
Of course, what he does at this point is I got nothing.
They got back to the point. Okay, back to square one.
Back to square
Back
one.
to square one. So
And then blacked
essentially, would you like to add anything to this battle?
Well, I was just trying to think about it, and it's as far as gadgets go, I think they're pretty evenly spaced. The problem with this battle, I think, and the ultimate thing that's going to come down to is Rick has 0 value for life. So, and Batman places a lot of value on human life.
It's super true, yeah.
So I think that
Rick's
is
just gonna go like hold Robin by the scruff of the neck and be like, "I'm gonna kill him." Batman's
But-
like,
Batman
I
would
guess I
hold
give
Morty.
up.
Huh?
Batman would just hold Morty, and he'd
But
be like,
Batman
"I don't
wouldn't
care
do
about."
shit.
Oh, I do care.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the difference being that Rick will kill Robin.
and Batman.
Batman won't kill Morty.
I mean, it really depends on
There's
what
always-
Batman you're talking about, because there's been plenty of Batmans, even just in the cinematic universe, where he kills.
We're talking about
motherfuckers.
Adam West, and he's already dead.
and has AIDS because of Chuck Norris.
Oh my god.
So why are we even arguing?
So-
There's just a dead corpse that made it into the finals.
I think
but there's also Infinite Ricks.
Yeah. Infinite
Facts.
Ricks, Infinite Batmans.
there's this could go just like many times, and there's always I think it's happened in every Rick fight where he's just like, yeah, and Rick gets bored and just fucking goes to a different universe. It's just fucking destroys us, just leaves it behind. So I mean, there's always that. After the back and forth, I'm gonna have to say that Rick Sanchez would take a fight between the two eventually, after many hours of portals, gadgetry.
Fuckery.
Yeah. He doesn't
Alcohol.
have, Batman doesn't have like kryptonite or something to use as a weakness, but if he does have Wikipedia, he will know that Rick is terribly afraid of pirates.
Yeah.
Terribly. Deeply
Um,
fearful of pirates. But after the back and forth,
Forgot about that. Pirates. Why did we not why have we not used that in any battle up to this point?
Because Batman's the only one that did the detective
we
work.
found the
Sure.
Ricktonium, or whatever it was, and he was like, yeah, I made that up. That
I would
was real.
actually say, like, I'm not really the biggest fan of Batman, but I think
Sanchezium.
he would win against
You
Rick.
think Batman would win against
I-
Rick?
So
I
we're
think
even
so.
Stevens right now.
Even Stevens.
I'm
Thursdays
pretty sure
at 10.
that like the battle would be really, really fast. I think that it would start something like what we said, where Rick would freaking blast a portal in the ground. Batman would realize there's nothing to grapple to, fall through the portal, make his way back. But by the time he got back, Rick had a plan to just freeze him in space, and Rick would just go up and shoot him in the face. I don't think that there would be much to it. I think that Rick would find a way to stop him in his tracks and like just stab him in the heart or fucking
Just end him.
Remember that
take a gun to the face. I don't know. Like he would just.
fight with the president he had? That was pretty intense.
Yeah.
Probably be a lot like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Batman takes it. Rick takes it.
Yeah, you said
Alright.
Batman first, so Batman's 2.
Oh,
Well-
man.
Make it a coin flip.
Coin flip for the
Do it.
win.
Do it. Just upset
Except
everybody.
to Ray. Except to Ray.
You know, the spirit of this podcast,
No.
we're going to leave it up to a coin flip.
We can't coin flip this last one. We gotta have something else.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we
We
gotta,
gotta have
else.
something else.
Well, what do you guys
How about
want to
let's
do?
just go by like
Two faces.
whoever's represented on the table right now. Would that be fair?
Pinhead?
Pinhead wins.
Let's ask the judges. It's Rick.
Fuck your judges.
The judges, I mean, we paid a lot of money for these judges to sit here week in and week out.
To
And
only
we
be
have
Four
work.
judges.
We
It's
only referenced
10K
them
a week.
twice.
You have to remember who your god is in these episodes. I can just cut it to when you're like, Batman wins, and Batman will win.
Yeah.
I'm in post. Fuck
Brian's
you.
got a god complex. All of a
Yeah, he
sudden.
does.
You remember who your god is. I will end you.
Rick Sanchez wins.
I could
You heard
literally
it.
make
You heard it.
God damn it.
Batman wins.
Everybody said it now. You cocksucker.
It's just gonna be cut
Oh
through.
my God! So many weeks.
It's a
Nobody's
unanimous
gonna
Batman
fucking
wins.
know.
Okay.
God.
But yeah, Rick wins. That's awesome. The battle has finally came to an end.
Does Rick win? Was that legitimate, or were you just?
Yeah.
I really think he would because just because,
Okay.
like I said, he doesn't have a problem. He doesn't.
I didn't wanna
he
just,
has
like-
no value in human life.
I feel like I'll just
and
erase
that's what
this
would end it.
planet.
I just
Well,
wanted
he
to be
could-
devil's advocate. I don't really think Batman would win. Rick would probably win, but
Oh, okay. So
I hate
You'll
Batman.
find out, Ryan.
He's a
our
faulty
god is
god.
fake.
Like all gods. Fuck you, Tim. Tim that believes in God. So Tim's
By the way,
like,
those Tim shirts are still for sale. If you need a Tim Vegeta shirt, $24.99.
for so, like, I
Like
knew you were
0
gonna say
sales.
Vegeta, but I totally thought you were gonna say that Tim Vagina shirt.
Tim Vagina
that's
shirts.
extra dollars.
Yeah, you gotta pay $25.99 for those.
Huh. Well, it has concluded.
Feels good.
The champion, king, champion, hero, god himself, Dick Sanchez.
Well, I think there's a couple other heroes you'd like to mention at this point, Rob.
Like you're just resting your nose on your mic.
It's my nose rest. That's how I know I'm getting the good audio. Well, who's next here?
Can't get past it.
Well, I'm trying to see who's next so I can
Oh, that's me.
segue. Oh, it's you?
That's a good segue.
Well, we have. There it is.
I'll get in there.
So if someone wants to introduce one of the next stories we have, probably one of my heroes here could do it. Either one. We have the long-haired one. And
Long-haired
we
hero.
have the medium-haired one.
Medium hair. Yeah, it's probably medium hair, I suppose.
Ah, yeah.
Medium.
I
If
can
you want
medium.
medium hair, I could take long hair, but it just makes more sense.
I want a small hero. With extra butter.
Boots.
I'm down. You want to let them handle the rest of this? We can make that happen.
No, not at all. All right, I'm gonna jump into my topic.
Yeah,
My
I'm not
topic's
introducing shit.
Yeah, that didn't go well.
regarding can't really see him,
thank you.
but it's Jason from the Friday the 13th franchise. Most people didn't realize that there has been a lawsuit for the last 2 years on the Friday the 13th franchise that now is preventing any future Friday the 13th movie from being made, or the game that came out about a year and a few months now from having any DLC added to it. They can't even put a rock added into one of the maps. They can't make a tree. They can't do anything
They can't put
except
Dwayne Johnson in there?
No.
Damn,
or Winnie the Pooh.
that's fucked up.
I know.
He's
So-
a staple of the series.
So there was one of the original screenwriters named Victor Miller whose aims to terminate the copyright grant that was given to like basically all of the film's creative means. Basically, he's just preventing any creation done to the Friday the 13th franchise because he's just saying, hey, I wrote the script, I have rights to it all. And for the longest time, he just
Is he just
was
saying that, or does he actually like
he
have
was
the rights?
He did write. I mean, he hasn't got the rights yet. It's still been in the legal system for the last 2 years. They still haven't decided. He was originally a writer for hire when they were writing the original Friday the 13th back in 1980.
So that
And
means he doesn't own any of the stuff that he wrote.
no. he was like the reason, like the Sean Cunningham who owns the Friday the 13th franchise currently, he was just saying like, hey, you wrote the screenplay, we were in a contract that you were just the screenplay writer, you don't have any rights to the characters and everything. But the writer was saying that he created characters even in the later part 2 through 15. I think there's 12 actually, but he was just saying that he contributed so much to the franchise that he should own it all. And that basically they've been denying it up to this point, but they're still in the legal battle about it. So,
well, it sounds like to me that John McAfee needs to get one of his friends with $50 together.
Yeah,
and get this show on the road so we can
this guy out.
so we can get some DLC.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that they only have 12 Friday the 13th movies?
10.
11
yeah.
and 12. That's right.
Okay.
10 verses and then the remake, yeah.
You think maybe
12.
this guy knows something and he's keeping like the 13th Friday the 13th movie coming out because once that happens, like some sacred hell will unleash upon the earth and he's actually trying to save us all, and I just encourage John McAfee to commit the horrible atrocity of killing the guy?
No, I don't.
Damn.
I don't think any of that's true. I think that they're just
Reagan's
probably
coffee.
trying to set it up. all just a bunch of publicity to get that fucking
jumping down the
big 13th movie of the Friday 13th franchise to be a box office smash.
So really, me just bringing it up, I was just curious your guys' opinion. Not really on this, but anybody that says, like, maybe somebody that was just like, well, I wrote for the Star Wars franchise a little bit, as a writer for hire, I should own everything.
At this point, I'd give it to them because they're fucking it up.
Oh yeah, it's a
bad example,
concept,
but
where do you draw the line? Because like, I mean, this could happen with almost any IP, really. Like,
yeah, because
you got writers' rooms, and then all of a sudden, I mean, I guess you sign off on shit beforehand that says like, you get nothing. Good day, sir.
Well, it's more
but
done
in this
now.
Case, like, it sounds like he actually has like a right to claim it, right? Or...
Yeah, it says right here that Miller entered into an employment agreement with the Manny Company, which was pursuant to have him write a screenplay. This is the first screenplay he's ever written as a work for hire for the screenplay. So he wasn't even really working with like the production team. He was just like, we need somebody to write this because they actually, for the original Friday the 13th.
Well, that's a contradictory statement though, because work for hire and an employee are not the same thing.
Yeah.
Work for hire is a contract worker, and an employee is not a contract.
I think that's what they're trying to argue, because they're saying that like, well, you're just a contractor, you have no rights to it. But if he was the actual screenplay writer, like as an employee for the production team, like he might have grounds.
No, as an employee, he would have no rights, because think about that. Like if you were
true, you're right,
working at a,
the intellectual property belongs to them.
You're like, well, I worked here all day by myself, so I have rights to all that cash in the cash register.
True. That's probably why it's still in the court system then, because he's a work for hire. You're right. I forgot that if you're under a company, obviously your intellectual property, if you come up with something, belongs to them. That's part of the contract.
GM owns probably everything every engineer at GM ever submitted or anything like
they've
that.
ever GM'd.
I don't
know. It sucks. I mean, as long as like it's that weird blend, because like if it's something you care about, you want more content to come out.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it's just like, if people aren't getting their fucking what they deserve, it's also fucked up.
Some of the wording was super funny about
just life, though.
Yeah.
People that made the game. They basically like people are complaining about it too. Like that's another reason I hate. Like I love the gaming community, but I also hate it so much because there's so many people. Because like they posted on Facebook, sorry, we can't do any more content. They explain exactly why we're in a lawsuit. We can't do it. Legally, we can't. And then people are like, oh, you guys suck. You're not supporting your game. You guys are pieces of shit. I'm like, are you serious? Like, they're a small company. It's not like it's Bethesda doing it, and like they have all the money to fall back on.
Those gamers need to understand the implications of what happens if they were to make it. Let's just say nothing's going on right now. They made it, released it, and they paid everybody to make it, and then charged money for the DLC or whatever. And then the other guy wins the claim. And now suddenly all that money just gets funneled to that guy, and they can't support anything anymore, let alone...
Yeah. Basically how they said is, like, development on games can't just pause indefinitely and pick up back again. It doesn't work that way, especially when you have no idea that the future date will ever occur, so we can't keep building content that might never see the light of day. That's just bad business, which makes sense, because why are you going to build, like, the new maps?
Paying a team $120,000 a month with just something you might not be able to release.
Yeah. Right. It's just crazy, because, like, the Friday the 13th franchise for, like, entertainment franchises is one of the biggest. I mean, right up there with like the Star Wars franchise. Most people don't think of it as that, but I mean, for horror franchises, there's really just Halloween. It's coming out with a new one, especially with the horror coming back. A lot of the old franchises coming back, like just in action movies, Independence Day, Star Wars, Indiana Jones talking about making a new one. So Friday the 13th easily can make a fuck ton of money, but this Victor Miller guy, if he has the actual rights and they're just fucking him, I hope he gets the rights so he can get his due for it, but I don't know, I'd rather see more movies.
Maybe just ran out of cocaine.
Support games. Exactly. So that's really all I have to say about it. It's just an interesting legal battle that can stop production of everything, so
did you guys see the latest season of Arrested Development? Season 5 just released?
No.
It's got some just fantastic tie-ins between like the writers, the producers, the Marvel movies, and the Star Wars movies. Like they all like share like writers or producers like between the three, and there's like all these little like tie-ins between all three. There's there's Easter eggs in the Infinity War where like Tobias is in the background dressed in all blue. There was just one where like, you guys ever watch Arrested Development? Oh yeah, this was a great moment where like they found a video of like one of the kids from the family. It was Michael Cera, and he's doing all these little like, he's pretending he was in Star Wars and flipping all around the garage, and everyone was making fun of him because it was like an embarrassing video. And like now there was like 15 years between the season 3 and like season 4, so he's all like grown up now, and he's like teaching classes and how to do all these like goofy ass little like weird Star Wars moves in the garage. And they were talking about like, yeah, this one that he's teaching right now, like narrator Ron Howard comes in, he's like, it's actually featured in Star Wars A New Hope, and it like goes like side by side and like shows the little clip because like they shared producers between the two. And I was just like, that's so fucking good, and how
that is cool.
Shit like that can happen over the course of more than a decade. Jokes and works. This is a 15-year fucking joke right here. It's fantastic.
The long build up. Well, that was Rob's topic. That was our episode.
Pretty much though. No, I wanted to talk about, we talked about a little bit before, just kind of want to retouch just lightly on it and get some feedback on. We talked about streaming services in general as like a media, but I want to talk about the game streaming services in general. A couple weeks ago, I think even we mentioned on the podcast, we're all going to do the 14-day trial, the Game Pass access. I know I still have it. Brian, I think you still have it. You still have it. Sounds like by accident, and you canceled it. So just real quick, briefly, any reason at all? Why'd you keep it?
ESO.
Done. Or is there more?
Well, I mean, just the ability to have games keep coming in, and just, I don't know, there's a lot of games in there, and we'll try it for a couple months and see if I can still find it.
You're fairly new to Xbox as kind of opposed to the rest of us. So
so that does help me build my game library
up
and have a bunch of options.
Ray, sounds like yours is just kind of accidental. Forgot it was on there.
No, it wasn't accidental necessarily. I was really, I mean, the cost of it is not going to change my life if I have it or don't have it. And there were a couple of games I have on there. At least one that I want to beat. I've started playing Recore. It was actually kind of a cool little game. I don't know if you guys have ever played it.
It's fucking dumb. No, I don't know. I've never played it.
It is kind of a dumb game, but it's also really neat. It's like it's a good single player game where you're like, damn, I'm a fucking hero.
Man, if I'm not mistaken.
What's that?
I think it's from the creators of Mega Man.
I can't remember who made it, but that sounds about right. It's a cool game though. But like, then there's a couple other ones on there. The only thing I didn't like is the fact that the game, or it would have had a lot more value to me if I wouldn't have already bought like 10 of the games from it that you get with it.
Ryan, why'd you cancel it? He didn't cancel it. He still has it. He's been paying for it for 14 years.
Rob, why do you still have it?
It was kind of like a blend. Like, it was one of those things where I just kept being like, I gotta remember to cancel it, and I'm just like, it's $10. Like,
it's not gonna make or break me.
It's like a fucking quarter and a dime a day.
It broke me.
It's it wasn't so bad. I have more games. Like, I almost own most of those games I have. There's a couple Devil May Cries in there. Something else, but there's some stuff coming out where they've like, this is going to be in Game Pass day one, which is really cool. A lot of the Microsoft stuff. So I'm just holding on to it just because it still has a little bit of value.
It seemed like they're building it faster than what I thought it was going to.
So this is kind of where like I wanted this to go here is like, EA will probably still be around, and I think they probably do it not necessarily the best, but I'd like to see these two services kind of combine into one as far as features of both of them. So EA Access is either $5 a month or $30 for the entire year. That's the cost of half of one game, and it gets you access to most of their library, except the new releases are always 6 months to 9 months behind on the release. So I'd like to see a little like combination where I can pay like upfront for a Game Pass or just have it be included in my Xbox Live service. So it kind of blends into just like one payment instead of all these little bullshit payments. But it also you could increase EA. I want that shit right when it comes out. Like there's just got to be a blend in between it. That's like Game Pass where the shit's coming out and I have it, and there's got to be like a blend where I can get a discount by paying for a year up front. I'd really like to see.
So how would that change the model of how gaming companies, like game production companies, make money?
It'd have to work in a similar way to how Netflix would.
Well, it's also been the staple. Like, if we go back to when the Xbox One launched, this was that future they were thinking about. They just worked backwards. They're like, well, we can't just do it this right away.
Well, everyone was pissed off.
Yeah, Game Pass
I loved the idea.
Oh, yeah, a lot of people did. Like, my friend group anyways. I mean, the majority didn't like it, and that's why they reverted back to what they did. And then now that's what Game Pass was, like the always online with your streaming services. You get your games, but you have to have at least an online connection to like check in, and that was what pissed off everybody originally. It's kind of funny they're going back to it, but it's good. I mean, Game Pass is cheap. It's affordable for sure.
Yep.
And it brings a lot of value to it. So the only reason to revert back to me, the only reason I didn't keep it is because I have 170 games for gold free that I haven't played. I'm not going to play these games. I played Sea of Thieves, and I had Halo 5 already, had ESO.
Most of those, the Game Pass games are the free with gold games.
Will I get Game Pass in a year? Probably. I'm just going to wait until better games are on there for me. But for, like Brian was saying, that he doesn't have a big library, like I have just the backlog of a ridiculous amount of games.
Yeah, I think
more
I've got,
value
like,
for you than me.
35 games installed and like 17 to download or something like that. So like you had 170.
Yeah.
I might just get EA Access. Just
I was gonna say I didn't realize it was that affordable. Like,
$30 for a year.
Crazy.
It's so crazy. It's like there's really no reason to not have it.
Can you Game Pass or game share with somebody? Like say your buddy's paying for EA Access and you have it as well, so you could be $250 a month.
I know Game Pass doesn't work like that.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I mean, my friend did that.
Here's the trick.
How
Xbox A has to download the game first, so it shows up in My Games, and then once it's downloaded on Xbox A, it'll show up under My Games on Xbox B, and you just have to download it. Now you have to be signed in on both of them. One has to be a home console. It's the same way with EA Access. So like I game share with my buddy. Once I download it and it finishes, it shows up under My Games and Apps on his Xbox, and he can download it.
Super dope.
So he has to log you in. And
we game share, so
right.
He does not have to log in. He just goes into it. Shows up under My Games and Apps. Because his Xbox is my home Xbox.
Right. No, I game share with my buddy, and everything has worked up until EA Access, or up until I've downloaded some games from the Game Pass, and those haven't worked recently.
You just fucked it up
for
then.
Reason.
Worked for me. Like my friends.
You might need to re-log in on that one or something.
Yeah,
because my
friend.
buddy
Yeah, I was gonna say
Chris
we were playing Sea of Thieves. Like I was playing with Def, and it's through Game Pass. He's never bought it, so.
Interesting.
Just probably got to check logins and whatnot.
Like you just said, you just have to wait till it finishes downloading on the first Xbox, and it should show up on the other one under My Games.
Yeah. A lot of times they would just start installing.
Yep.
PlayStation's going to do this, I think, next, because they did their PlayStation Now, where it was you had to have a really good internet connection to streaming the games instead of installing. Yeah, it didn't really work well. They were the first to it, which I remember when it was released 83 4 years ago. I was like, oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah, well, the problem with that was, I mean, it worked fairly decent for some of the lower end games, like some of the backwards compatibility, like a PlayStation 2 game that's not super intense.
Right. Baldur's Gate was awesome.
Oh, so good.
Those ones typically would stream all right. It's when you got into like a heavier style game that would bog down.
Like an Uncharted.
You'd have to have like
something where you need those
100 megs down before you could even compete. I mean, especially with a multiplayer
Borderlands
game.
1 was the first game I ever streamed on my PC. At the time, I did not have a strong PC. It was really fucking bad, actually. And I think it was a company called OnLive.
I think I remember hearing about them.
And I just, right on my computer, was just like, I want to play Borderlands. I did not have a computer to run it, and it like ran at like a 20 frames per second. So I mean, it wasn't awesome, but like I was playing Borderlands on a really shitty PC, and it was pretty cool. I thought that was like, once that was happening, I mean, that was like 2000,
really long time ago,
8, 9, and I was like, this is the future.
That's when Netflix started too.
Things really have not progressed like I thought they were going to.
Some things like progress like crazy, and some shit just kind of.
Well, like graphics, really, they've gotten really good, but not to where I thought they would be. You know, if you look at like the original Far Cry game that was out for PC, and then compare it to Far Cry 4, know, it's better. Don't get me
for sure
wrong,
better, but it's
better.
not like.
But Far Cry, when it came out, was fucking amazing.
Like the leaps to consoles have been so severe, like from graphic wise, and now it's like we're not really getting that. It's more performance. I think it's more performance based, and like now we're getting the 4K and the 60 frames. And
well, I think they're focusing more on like the whole environment, and a lot of people don't see like the details in that, like the changes of the shadows on like a tree leaf. Like you didn't have that on Far Cry 1 or Far Cry 2 or even probably Far Cry 3. But like a lot of the environments, just seeing Forza Horizon 4 and seeing just the weather elements of like the traction differences on your tire. Yeah, like it's a lot more focused on the environments than just the individual. I remember playing NBA Live 06, and they had like Dwayne Wade on it, and he was like playing basketball. Like the graphics of that is kind of what it is now on the players, but everything else in the game was awful. Like everybody looked like they were just drenched in sweat always because they were trying to like have that wet effect.
Yeah, that's how it is now. I feel too. It's like everyone's always so fucking wet.
That's pretty much how I feel my whole life.
Like back in the day, if you
just
wanted
because
to
I'm around,
program a sun in a tree in a shadow, you would program a light in the air, a tree with lights on it, and then you would program a shadow, all running independently. And it's like now we get to the point of like we just program a sun and a tree, and then we have mechanics that will literally project the shadow just from like the mechanics we have in this game engine. So that's the kind of shit where it's just like you're not really thinking about
closer model of reality.
Yeah. It's like it's weird if you really start breaking it down.
So I'd actually disagree with like I think the jump in like video games came like ridiculously good.
Yeah, that is true, but it's not like a 360 to an Xbox One was not like going from like a Nintendo 64 to an Xbox. Like it was just like what? Like every time it was so mind blowing, and now it's like wow, it looks really good, but it's that kind of that shit behind the scenes that you're not really thinking about too much where they're getting into. But so we go off on that. Back to the streaming part. Is I wanted to
game graphics.
I wanted to get back into the streaming part aspect of it because we all have and use services, different ones.
Stop pointing at Brian.
I'm just fucking making everybody wet.
Here's what I would like to see. An all-inclusive pass. It included in my service, so I don't have all this fucking silly shit to do.
Are you putting a spell on me?
Stop not pointing at me.
I would like.
There we go.
I'd like to see a Steam Link app come to Xbox. So if there was a PC game I wanted to play on my fucking Xbox, I could just go and fucking connect them and start playing it.
Yes.
It's gonna make that sound too.
Above all else, what I would absolutely love to see, which would just be the end-all be-all for my streaming service.
This is put my hand here. You thought I was gonna jack you.
It was weird.
I'm fucking nervous, man.
Put my elbow down, protect my ribs.
Fucking using my bendy straw too much.
A Nintendo Virtual Console on my Xbox, and it supports 1985 to now. I can download any fucking game they choose to release. I would even pay like a substantial fee just to download the app and then just to be able to download the games, not like a full Switch cost fee, but like they're like, oh, download.
Give me like $100 app fee, and then all the games are free or something.
$99. I'll even pay for the games. Like, it's our console's $100. It's gonna fucking run like a champion on your shit.
It's never gonna happen.
I wouldn't say never.
Never.
Never gonna take any lesson from the Beebs.
Switches or anything else.
Never say never. I'm sorry.
Just cut you off with the Beeb statement.
So I mean, that's what I would like to see. How much? Let's say they have a service. You know, no Steam, no Nintendo Virtual Console. You download whatever fucking game you want in the store, whenever you want. No, I mean obviously if you stop paying it, you don't own those games. But as long as you're paying this fee, you can download whatever fucking
any game in existence
you
pretty
want.
Much.
That's available. That's available for Xbox. Anything that's in the store right now You can download it for no charge.
Are you asking how much I'd pay for that?
How much is that service worth to you?
I'd pay $11 a month.
That's less than Xbox Live.
Yeah, he's so frustrated by that answer.
That's not less than Xbox Live. But
No, realistically, $150 a year.
Does that include my Xbox Live?
Yeah, I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
just one service. It's like the Instagram of
you get multiplayer, you get the access, whatever you want on there. Just like a Netflix, you can download and use whatever you want.
I know Ryan's. He thinks that I just timed 11 by 12.
Kind of, but I was like, my math is so bad.
I didn't. But
I was trying to figure out 11 times 10, which is 110, and I was having struggles with it.
Why only 10?
Or yeah, it's 12. So
welcome back.
Well, then you just do 10 and then just add 22. That's how my math works in my brain.
Yeah, if you're doing 12.
Instead of just doing 12, I'll just do like the closest thing I know, and I'll figure out the rest later.
I mean, $20 a month. I'd say.
$20 a month, including your Xbox Live.
Yeah, if it's my online service
games.
and
So
all games, probably about that.
$240 a year.
That's like the max I would pay for sure.
Why you?
150.
You're sticking with a
150.
150.
Yeah,
well,
I'll
how
raise
about
it a
a
little
monthly
bit.
and then a yearly? Let's do that.
Okay.
So if it was
I'd
broken down on
go
a monthly,
I'd go like
$20 a month.
No, I wouldn't go $20 a month. That seems kind of high for me.
Why? If you're paying $10 for Game Pass and you're paying $10 for Xbox Live, you're already spending it. This all would be wrapped up in this.
But I would also I wouldn't have to pay for Game Pass, but I
till now.
So I wouldn't have to pay for Xbox Live anymore as well.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's
like
all
okay. I
included.
missed that. I missed that too. Then
full bundle package.
Yeah, $240 sounds good. So I would say like I don't know, $220 for the year and then $20 a month.
I think the value is more than $20 a month.
Why?
Easily.
Probably. Well, I mean, sure. It definitely is.
Yeah.
But
Well,
how much
the
would
value
you pay for it?
sure, yeah.
Like
I think-
Netflix is worth way more than $7 a month.
I don't even trust anything you say anymore because remember we had this similar conversation with a different streaming service a couple episodes ago, and
video
you're like,
streaming services.
you're like, oh, I'd pay $800 a month. I'm down.
No, I think this one is probably. I would easily pay $25 a month for it.
You just wanted to make yours.
No, 25 to 30, and the reason why I say that is because like I think the yearly, like $30. What is that? So it's $360. So and then $300 a year, if you paid it in advance. Like I think that's what I was going off. It was like $300 a year. I think is a good value. That's a cost of 5 games, brand new. That's probably less games than I buy in 6 months on average.
more large. I mean, I don't know.
Plus it includes my Xbox Live. Plus it includes Pac-Man, Atari, and everything.
Pac-Man Atari, that exclusive. That's the killer app for
Pac-Man
Xbox.
Atari, $20 a month for that.
Well, I mean, just everything. Like
Just like
NFL
anything
Game
that's-
Day 99, I can play that again for 10
just
minutes
like
if I want.
anything that's on the
Blitz
store right now.
2000.
Oh my god.
And
the PC games.
Not
That's
sponsored, but
You just said the
a
ones
lot
on
of
Xbox,
games
not
that
any
were
game.
just mentioned were on Harley Morstein's first episode of his podcast, Fanboy. So if you
Oh,
like
wait.
it,
Nice ad there.
yeah. So
time out. This doesn't include. I thought this service,
Xbox Store, not any game ever.
I thought this included all the games.
that was the
All
Nintendo
games on
Virtual
Xbox.
Console thing I was talking about. But I'm saying anything that's on the Xbox
Xbox.
Store right now is free to not free to download, but you have access to download it. So I mean, I don't think NFL Game Day's on there, but
Or Blitz.
Oh, I thought we were still talking about having the virtual consoles hooked into this as well.
just anything that's on the store right now, which is
Okay.
still a
I'm
ton of shit.
I'm still gonna back it down a little bit and go back to Brian's number.
Welcome back.
Which was
It was like
240 or
Yeah.
220.
yeah, you said 220. Well, 240 all in all, but 220 a year if you bought it ahead of time. Mine.
But he was willing to pay the $25 a month for Pac-Man, NFL Blitz.
No, not just that. I'm thinking like being able to download anything from the Switch, the Steam, Nintendo consoles of
God, that
every
would be
area.
endless.
Like I would be willing to pay.
An extra $5 a month for all of those.
Yeah, at
other
least an
video
extra
games.
$5 a
I'll
month.
sell you this
for all that.
emulator that has Pac-Man and NFL Blitz for $25 a month.
No,
I think for that service,
I want to buy a piece of shit Switch.
healthy price would be $25 a month, possibly $30, just because like they put a lot of effort and money into Xbox Live, and I don't want to like have that diminish. That's an awesome community, and it works really well.
Yeah.
So $29.99 max, but $25 I think would be my sweet spot. $200 if you want to do a year up front. You do it right now.
Okay.
Save a couple bucks.
So
It'd be
now
more than a couple
$200
bucks. At 20,
yeah.
it'd be like $160 you'd save.
Pretty. You save a healthy
was-
portion, just like EA Access. You save a healthy fucking portion
Now,
by getting your year up front.
just
about 50%.
in revenue from
Hold on.
those services, do you think that would cost more or less?
Okay.
It gets better and better every time.
Do you think that would be more or less revenue than is already seen?
Well,
that?
you know, that's an
Overall.
important thing too. Like, would it help the industry or not? And you'd have to think yes, right? Because like, I mean, obviously Netflix is like, we haven't turned a profit yet, but it's just because they're just throwing, like, as soon as their money hits their account, they're just fucking throwing it in the furnace. So, you would think that like, oh, this would probably like hurt developers because they're not making that $60 a pop. But I don't know what the fuck's going on in the back end at Netflix as far as.
Well, I mean, if it's anything like music streaming, like how artists just get boned on like the amount they make
I don't think it
from
would be because that's not happening to like.
I know it's quite different being in the music industry versus the video game industry.
And like,
but
well, even like Netflix, because I think in a lot of those scenarios, like if you do a comedy special, they just
Well,
pay
yeah,
you
for
an
comedy
upfront
specials,
fee.
yeah,
They're-
they
you're
give
not
you
getting
so
like
much, yeah.
residuals.
yeah,
They're not making money from advertising, so just like they're just
Might
making
be
money
more.
from the $10, $20, $30 a month, however much people are paying.
true.
150 million people.
Plus,
are,
it might
are
help a
paying it every
game
month.
like, for example, like if Cuphead was on Game Pass, a lot more people would be
Right.
playing it. Like
And
I bought
there'd
Cuphead
be a
myself,
huge-
but not many
huge-
people have played it. I don't think
Think
anybody
of
else here.
how many more people would be playing so many different games just because like
Yeah,
we can
because
all
it's
download
provided.
a
Yeah,
game, or like when we're all playing, it's like we have like what 3 or
Yeah.
4 games that we all own and can
Yeah.
play together.
it's like
It'd be
Fortnite.
different if it was just like what do we want to play today, and we
Right.
just can play anything we fucking want. And
Like
just
Fortnite's so popular because it's free for anybody, and it's
Right.
like, oh, I don't have that game. Oh, you can just download it for free, you lazy son of a bitch.
and it makes
hit the
it
button.
makes more money than
And that's,
most games.
So I
and
guess
it's
that
free.
really, like, maybe you don't even need that. Maybe you don't need the monthly charge because like Fortnite's kind of proven that, right? Like,
How would you feel
it's a
if
free
all
game,
games
and
went
they
to free?
probably make
and then they
more
just have
money
like
than
paid passes.
everyone.
You'd have a battle pass for every game, and then you'd have like
The only thing that I like, as long as it's not pay to win, then I'm down. As long as like
Everything's
whatever you can
cosmetic.
pay for is just cosmetic, and then
but you can still
everything
earn,
is fully loaded in the game to, like, you'd have to actually play the game to progress your character to get different
What about
skills and
DL
abilities.
What
set up
about
pretty much
DLC?
just like the battle pass in Fortnite.
Like, do you think people should have
Kind
to
of.
buy a new, like, in Fortnite, let's say, you know, whenever new maps get released, do you think that they should be included for free, or do you think you'd have to pay to jump on that?
For
I
free.
think that would depend on game. I would say for free. I mean,
It'd have to
for
be for
sure.
free just
but
to keep that playing field up. Like that's what like EA was saying with this last Battlefield is Battlefield 1. They released these, you know, awesome maps and pay teams of people for long periods of time to make these awesome maps, and then like release it and charge people for it. Then it's like, okay, well, 30% of our player base has this map. You're kind of fucking over everyone, because now it's like you have the people that really like it. Now they're playing in a really small group of 30% of the players.
you
then
just
you-
keep playing each other over and over again. It's just going to water down the numbers.
People that are just like now they're really not even playing with them because they're trying to play their new maps, and
Might
you're
as
trying
well
to
be
play
on Xbox and PlayStation.
right, and like
Like-
they about halfway through it, they're like, if you get, they had like a Revolution or something package where it's just like if you get it, you have everything. Doesn't matter if it comes out yesterday or 2 years from now, like you're gonna have it, just because we don't want to separate our player base. And they said that about Battlefield 5 is like everyone gets everything as far as like player separation stuff goes. So that was really cool. But I think they'd have to like release that kind of shit for free just to keep that aspect to it, because then you're gonna start fucking over your player base. And
So really, like, how do you generate, like, because not every game is set up like Fortnite, right? So
No.
for like a single player game, how would you generate? I guess then you could have pay to win stuff because you're only beating NPCs.
just
but
like Shadow of War,
I haven't played
single
that,
player
but-
game. ton of pay-to-win stuff. No, they recently took that out because very same thing where they were just like,
Piss people off.
it became pay-to-win because you can take your armies and fight them with each other offline, and it pretty much becomes a spreadsheet of data, you know, whose character is more powerful and they win.
Yeah.
So people were paying for that, and they pissed people off. So they did a similar thing where they're like, that shit's not, there's no more pay to win. It's all going to be either cosmetic or like XP bonuses or shit like that. That's what you're going to be able to imply. So I mean, that shit.
What do you think Phil Spencer's going to think about this, since we're in the boardroom right now for the Microsoft?
Well, I think this is where they've wanted to go since the Xbox 360. They were like, it's going to always be online. They said that same shit with that one,
it's
and
going to be.
People are like, no. I don't think so much people are like no as much as like I feel like it's like PlayStation paying companies to like write really negative articles about it, because like I, even when you read those articles, it's just like, yeah, this is what I want, like the always on console, the fucking unrivaled support, the ability to stream, and you have cloud gaming.
I mean,
like,
it's
that
better
kind of shit.
now, because like
it's better now
for sure. Like 6 years ago, like not everybody had the best internet connection. Eventually it's gonna be hopefully better. Like probably
you can play something without an internet connection. It's fucking almost 2020.
Yeah, get the internet.
Well, there are some places that still just didn't have internet connection until recently,
and you don't get to play.
And there's still some places that literally
Move
only
somewhere
have
that does.
like,
shitty internet.
I shouldn't have to struggle with some like fucking half-baked console because some dude in Alabama can't get internet service.
Right.
It's fucking silly.
Yeah, fuck that guy in Alabama. I think that's a good ending point for the
Kim,
episode.
who believes in God,
That's you.
lives in Alabama.
God is false, like Ryan.
The controller here.
Quick little would you
awesome.
rather? Would you rather wake up hungover and find out you texted your ex, or would you rather find out you spent your entire paycheck at the bar?
I would rather not answer that, because that's a wrap. No.
Perfect. See you guys later.
paycheck at the bar.
Paycheck at the bar.
Yep.
I don't even need any questions.
Yeah,
Paycheck
I
at the
don't
bar
need
for
any
sure.
questions. Paycheck at the bar.
Cool. I like it. Peace.
Oh, that fucking